Is this the best and most affordable underwater camera housing in the world? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm going to review the new design salted line housing for the Sony a7Riii from SeaFrogs. Now, full disclosure, SeaFrogs did send me the housing to make this review video, but that's mainly because of how well my previous review videos have done in helping people choose whether they want to buy this housing or not. So this is going to be completely impartial. I'm going to tell you exactly what I like and what I don't like about this housing. So let's talk about the first pro of this housing, and it's actually got nothing to do with the features of the housing at all. It's the price tag. SeaFrogs housings are a fraction of the price of the other main housings on the market, which makes it incredible for beginners. Whether you're looking to upgrade your underwater housing for the first time, or you're new to underwater photography and are thinking about getting into it, the lower price tag on the SeaFrogs housings makes it much more affordable and manageable to get into underwater photography. Now, one of the main reasons that SeaFrogs housings are so much cheaper than the others on the market is because these are made predominantly of plastic, whereas the others are made of metal and other materials. Now, being made predominantly of plastic does have its own drawbacks, which I'm going to talk about later in the video, but in terms of price, it's great because it makes the housing much cheaper than the others. Now, let's talk about the first pro in the new design of this housing, and that's going to be this double latch system that it has. In the previous model of this housing, it had only one latch and it was made of plastic. On this new design, it's got two latches made of metal. Now, the single latch system did come in handy a couple of times for me, admittedly. There were some issues inside the housing, but with one hand, I was able to open the housing, move things around and close it back up again. With the new system, that won't be possible. You have to use both hands to be able to take off the entire backplate. There's no way to only open it partially. Ultimately, this is a good thing. With the single latch system, you were able to open it in and around the water, but you don't really want to be doing that. You risk water getting in, hairs, sand, anything like that, which increases the chances of flooding. With this double latch system, it is harder to open the housing, which is great because it really reduces the chances of accidental openings of the housing, especially when you're underwater. The second new feature, which is a pro, and that I'm really happy and excited to use, is the fact that we now have front dial control. In the previous models of the housing, we didn't have front dial control, which made it a little bit tricky to be able to control aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. It basically ended up with me reprogramming the back dial on my camera to control both shutter speed and ISO, and then using the back dial to control the aperture. Now we're able to control the front dial as well, which means that we can have separate dials for aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. The third positive from this new design is the replacement of the vacuum pump slot. On the previous model, the vacuum pump port was on the side of the housing here, which, as you can see, makes it impossible to be able to have the handles on as well as the vacuum pump. This normally meant putting the camera in, vacuum pumping it, taking the vacuum off, and then attaching the handles. This new design is much more user-friendly. Having the vacuum pump slot on the top here means that you can vacuum as well as having the handles on at the same time, making it quicker for you to take the vacuum off and get in the water. Now let's talk about what is probably the biggest design change to this housing, and that's this back plate here. The back display screen here is at least double the size of that on the previous models, which is just incredible. Usually when I'm hanging off the side of the boats here shooting these whales, I cannot see what I'm doing and I'm just shooting blind. With this bigger display panel on the back, you actually do get to look at the screen a little bit more depending on the angle that you're shooting from, and it's been such a help underwater as well whilst diving. It makes filming much easier. It makes playing back footage and images underwater much easier as well. You can see much more clearly the screen and you can decide whether you need to reshoot something or not. This is a huge change that the SeaFrogs team has made, and it really elevates this housing to another level. Those are really the main changes that have been made so far, and as far as I can see so far, they're all positives. It really sounds like the SeaFrogs team has taken on feedback from the customer base and made those changes to the housing. Now let's go back and talk about what so far I found is the only con of this housing, and it's the fact that it's made entirely of plastic. Now, like I said, this is a little bit of a double-edged sword. The fact that it's made predominantly of plastic is what keeps the price down and makes it more affordable, but it does also come with its own drawbacks as well. Predominantly, it's the fact that it makes it a little bit more prone to dings and scratches as opposed to metal housings, but also the fact that it makes it incredibly buoyant. Now, I've talked about this buoyancy issue before in my previous reviews of the SeaFrogs housings, and obviously the fact that it's still plastic, nothing changes there. When you attach a dome port to it as well, that's a lot more air inside this housing, which makes it a lot more buoyant as well. Again, I've previously talked about how to combat these buoyancy issues that come with these housings. This includes overweighting yourself when diving or attaching weights to the actual handles as well. Personally, I think that this excess buoyancy is a small price to pay for the reduced actual price of the housing, and I'm happy to add a couple more kilos to my weight belt in order to get this housing at a minimal price. So those are my thoughts on this new design housing so far. As far as I can tell, only positive changes have been made to it, and I'm really looking forward to using it more and more over the coming year. If you're looking to upgrade your underwater camera setup, or you're looking to dive into underwater photography for the first time, I would definitely recommend trying the SeaFrogs housings. They're incredibly reliable and I haven't really had any issues with them so far in the 3 or 4 years that I've been using them. From my experience, their customer support service team has been amazing, very fast at replying and incredibly helpful. I've got a link for these housings in the description below if you're thinking about picking one up. It's going to give you a bit of a discount as well, so you can put that money towards your next dive trip. Hopefully this video has been helpful and given you some insights into what it's like using this housing underwater and how reliable they are. Let me know in the comments below if you're already using this housing and what your experiences with it are, or if you've got any questions, drop them below and I'll get back to you. Thank you all for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.